In June 2026, Senator Bernie Sanders proposed that the public should own half of America's biggest AI companies, a one-time tax paid in stock until half of each belonged to the government. His case isn't a weak one. These machines were trained on the shared knowledge of humanity, so the fortunes they create, he argues, should be shared too. He calls it a tax. His critics call it a seizure. A century ago, the most hated industrialist in America faced a version of that question and answered it without giving up a single share. In January 1914, Henry Ford announced the $5 day. Most men in his plants earned a little over $2 for a 9-hour day, so Ford was more than doubling their pay for an hour less work. For families scraping by on rent and little else, $5 meant savings, a home, even the Model T they built on the line. To Wall Street, he was a traitor to his class, a rich man breaking ranks with his fellow owners, forcing up the wages they wanted kept low. It wasn't pure charity. Turnover was bleeding him, and the raise came with inspectors policing workers' homes. Ford grew the pie instead of dividing the company, and a middle class formed around it. But that was only half of what Ford did with his power. The same reach that doubled a nation's wages, his factories, his dealers, his own newspaper, he turned from 1920 to 1927 to blaming the world's troubles on the Jews. He bound it into a book, The International Jew, and his dealers handed out 500,000 copies in 16 languages. It reached Germany, where Adolf Hitler praised Ford by name in Mein Kampf, and in 1938, Ford accepted Nazi Germany's highest honor for a foreigner. One man, unchecked, used the same power to lift millions and to poison millions. So the fear under the AI fight is real. Concentrated power answers to no one. But forcing the government to seize half of those companies is a cure that may be worse than the disease, and history is blunt about the alternative. Taken by force, the promise of sharing ended in famine, gulags, and a party elite richer than the kings they overthrew. Grown and paid out in wages, it built a middle class. The country got richer growing the pie, not seizing the bakery. And still, no builder is a saint. The middle class Ford built outlived him, and so did the lie he spread. Both are his. Now it falls to Musk, Bezos, and the people building the machines. Wait for them to share, or take it by law. Ford is both the promise and the warning. This time, the country decides.